In today's video, I'm going to show you how to install synthetic roof paper, which is like felt that people used to install on the roofs all the time, except now it's like a plastic material. Here it is right here behind me. And if you're new to this channel, my name's Josh. This channel is all about building your own house, saving a ton of money, so be sure to subscribe if you're into that and hit the bell so you get a notification every time I release a new video, and like this video for the YouTube algorithm. So if you look behind me, the roof doesn't have any sheathing on it yet, but it's the back side of the house that does. So since I'm working alone a lot of times, I'm going to go ahead and felt what I got sheeted, so that way we can dry in the house as we go. So let me give you a close up here at this product. Right there it is. This is called Rhino roof, and I know GAF and some other brands make stuff similar to this, but this is what I'm using today, and they both install similarly. And I'll show you the key differences between this and felt. And if you want to know my opinion right off the bat, this is way more superior than felt. So let's go ahead and I will get started. All right, to install this synthetic roofing paper, I'm going to be using this Hitachi Cap nail gun. And here's the details right here if you want to look at it. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check it out. I might get a little kickback from it if you buy it, but if you don't want to buy it, that's fine too. Just wanted to let you know what it's all about. But if you look here, you load staples right here. And then on this side, you load the caps that come in a spool there. I'll show you what that looks like. They come like this. You just feed them into the gun. And it comes with a pack of staples too that come inside of the box. The whole box comes in a package like this. So, like I said, I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check that out. And if you don't want to use a cap nail gun, all you got to do is get regular cap nails. But after using this, I wish I bought one a long time ago. Way better than trying to hand drive those suckers. So that's just something to keep in mind if you want to do that. All right, just want to let you know I'll be using to fasten them down to the roof. So let's get started. And what I'm going to be using is my GoPro here. So we're going to strap that on because I don't want to be up there holding a camera trying to show you how to put on felt paper. So I'm just going to do a voice over the GoPro footage. Alright, let's get up on the roof. Alright, here we are on the roof, and if you see what I'm doing here, I'm anchoring my staples and ammo for the nail gun, because if you don't, that stuff will slide right off the roof, and I didn't have any open trusses to sit them in. And now I'm hooking up my air to the nailer there. And if you see the felt paper, or in this case it's synthetic roof paper, if you see it here, watch what I did right here. This was a mistake. That was a mistake right there. I tried to just cut through just enough to cut that paper tape there, and once I got started, I'll show you here how it really messed me up. But let me walk over to the edge of the roof and lay this stuff out and get started. So first thing you do is just line it up the edge of the house. I'll let it overlap a little bit, maybe an inch or so. I don't know why, I just feel like that way it covers up a little better in case it shrinks shrinks from the heat there. So here you go. I usually tack the edge pretty darn good because you don't want wind getting up under it and blowing it off. So there I am, just realized, hey, it wasn't over as much as I'd like it, so I slid it back over a little more, and I am getting ready to get it where I want it and tack it. See there, I put it over 1/2 inch to an inch, and I'll show you right here where cutting through earlier messed me up. See that rip just a little bit from the edge there? Yep, you see that? Oh, I was trying to straighten it out and all this and that, and what I ended up doing was just nailing around it and then coming back later and patching it. I didn't get a video of it, but I just slid a piece up under there and just nailed it over the rip that you see. That way it still keeps the water out. I don't know, it's probably not that critical, but figured it was important because stuff like that drives me nuts. And one thing I realized with this first row, if you look at the Rhino on the Rhino roof, it is upside down. I'm really not too happy about that. And this first row, I really like to nail it well because you're there that close to the edge of the house. You could fall off the roof pretty easy. So I'll come back through after I tack it down and really start loading nails in it. In that first row, I hit every one of those circles that you see there. But what I'm doing here, I'm rolling it out and just letting it overhang the roof about 1/4 inch, just slightly, so that way, like I said, if it does shrink any, it's still covering the plywood pretty good. But what I do, I roll it out about 8 foot, about the length of a piece of sheathing there, and then I put 3 to keep it square. And right here had a little obstacle. That ladder was right in my way. And if you guys are doing this on your own, be sure that you have your cell phone on you or you're wearing safety gear or something, because you do not want to fall off this roof when you're alone. I always tell my dad I'm up on the roof, or my wife or somebody, and they usually check on me periodically. So safety first, man. You want to live to see another day. So if you looked here, I'm just scaling the side of the roof, and make sure that air hose is out from under your feet too, because that thing is like stepping on glass. If you are going across there backwards, especially, you step on the air hose, you'll end up on that ground faster than you can blink. So be careful. And when you're walking backwards like that, rolling that paper out, be mindful of the end of the gable there, because that's another thing too. You gotta really be careful. You don't just walk off the side of the house. And thankfully, I have never done that, but you could easily do it if you're not paying attention. So, what I like to say about heights is don't be afraid. Just respect the heights. Just always keep in mind that you're on a roof. You're not on the ground, so anything can happen. So the biggest difference between the Rhino roof, synthetic roof paper, or any other synthetic roof paper, and felt is it doesn't rip like the felt does. The felt has a tendency to really break down after it's been wet and dried out, wet and dried out. So if you keep that in mind when you're going to purchase your underlayment for your roof, just if it's going to be a while before you get shingles on, definitely consider synthetic roof paper. The crazy thing is, the Rhino roof synthetic roof paper, it's actually a little bit cheaper than buying 30 weight felt. I think it's like $18-19 for a roll of 30 weight felt, and it only covers a little over 200 square feet. This roll of Rhino roof you see here, it covers 1,000 square feet, and it costs about $75 a roll. So it's definitely something you want to consider too, because it's a little cheaper. Now, one thing I will say about it compared to felt is it's not as sticky, but when it gets rain on it, it seems to be less slick compared to felt. I have not done any true tests to determine if that's 100% fact, but I could tell felt when it gets wet, it just really slick, to where this stuff seems like it sticks easier. But you shouldn't be on a roof if it's wet anyways. But just saying, in case it does start raining while you're up there and you're trying to sneak off before it gets too slick, it's definitely a nice little perk. And if you see my foot sitting there, how it pulls down on it, it will stretch like that. So, felt, it stays one solid piece, and it doesn't do that, to where this synthetic roof paper, it definitely has some more give to it than felt. If you look here, I'm putting this nail to hold my cap nail gun, because it doesn't have a way of setting up there unless I do that. And if you slide this stuff to the edges, this is the way I've been cutting it. If you have a pretty full roll, it's a little easier. I'll show you later on in the video how I cut it if the roll's a little smaller after you use part of it. But this may not be the best technique, but it's a technique that works for me. I just roll it to the edge, get a little mark, and then try to cut it as square as I can. I don't like to hang over that edge as least as possible. So yeah, so just mark it and then cut it. It just seems to be a little safer, I think. So alright, so after I secure this roll of paper on the roof, I will head back down and start nailing it off. And if you notice all the nails there on the edge, it's because I made sure I nailed that pretty securely before I was next to the edge cutting that paper. So if that's what you're wondering why I put so many nails there compared to the rest of it when I was rolling out, that's why. So if you see here, I am nailing every one of those little circles. Rhino roof wants you to nail every one of those circles, and I will be honest with you, I only nail every one of those circles on the first row, because you're so close to the edge and it makes it very stable. and up the rest of the roof I nail about half of the circles. So it works for me. I haven't had much problems with it blowing off. Actually, I don't know if I've ever had it blow off. So it's something you may or may not want to do, but I'm going to say to keep it more stable, it's probably best you do nail every one. Look, see how my nail gun missed that staple there. It for some reason sometimes it misses the caps, but I think in that case right there it was just because the staples ran out before the caps did. So if you do get this nail gun, it isn't perfect. It does do stuff like that sometimes, but all in all, I cannot complain for the price I paid for it. What I did, I got it renewed off Amazon, meaning there was a part broken, it just needed a part put on, and it's like new. So if you were curious, that's how you reload that thing. So it's not too hard. You just slide it up through, then you have to push it up through this little slot to get to come out the end, then you just resume what you were doing. And you got to load the staples too, like you see me do. So not only do you need to load the caps, you got to load the staples as well. And yeah, this thing is a lifesaver. I wish I bought one years ago. It like I said, for the price, it's definitely a no-brainer. These brand new, I think, are like $250. That was a little steep, I thought, and that's why I tried the renewed, and this thing is pretty much like brand new. So if you ever had to hand bang those cap nails on, hand banging means just using a hammer to put them on, but if you ever had to do that with conventional cap nails, you would love this thing. If you have ever not hand nailed them, you would still love this thing. But if you need to increase the speed of your project and get things done, it's also another good reason to get one of these. Every once in a while you have to take your hammer and tack in the staples. It's only because I'm moving faster than the air gun can keep up with me. And another thing too is if you go on a slight angle, sometimes it won't drive the staple in all the way either. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're using this pneumatic cap nailer made by Hitachi. And as far as I can tell, it's a pretty good gun, but it needs the real test, which is the test of time. There's also other brands of these guns like Stinger and Boss Stitch, but if you're wondering how much these staples cost that go in this gun, it's actually about a little over 50 bucks, which is a little more than twice as much as a hand-driven cap nail, but due to the speed, it's worth the money, hands down. Let me know how you like this voiceover GoPro footage. I'm not sure if the audience will like this. I've done a lot of GoPro footage before, but it's just been little snippets. But figured I'd try a voiceover because I really wanted to explain this stuff while I was up on the roof, but I couldn't because it's very unsafe to hold a camera and explain what you're doing when your hands are full of hammers and cap nailers. So yeah, just let me know in the comments below what you think of that. Okay, I wanted to skip here to the edge. The roll is almost out, and I wanted to show you the other way to cut it. See, when the roll's this small, you can easily hold it and then just trace the side of the fascia board, and it gives you a nice straight square even cut, and it's really simple to do. But like I said, when you have a full roll of that stuff, it's really heavy and you feel like it's pulling you over the edge. I just don't like doing it. I'm sure a guy that does this full time for a living can easily do that, but I do this stuff on my days off from my regular job. So I am not a full-time roofer or a full-time framer, nothing like that. I have a regular job, and I do this just you know, little side gig, little side hustle, pay some bills, you know, get out of debt, that type of thing. But as you can see here, compared to that first row, I hit every other one on that bottom run, and then I just put about half as many staple targets that you see that's on this underlayment. But when it's all said and done, it turns out really nice. I never had the wind blow it off, like I said before. And if you're watching this video after you've been watching all my other videos and you're wondering why I skipped how to install sheathing, it's because I actually started this after the sheathing video because it's calling for rain. I wanted to make sure I get it on. So I'm going to finish the sheathing video, which that's going to be my next video after this if you keep watching all my videos. If you don't follow all my videos, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you get a notification every time I release a new video. And make sure you smash that like button, guys. Alright, so that's all there is to installing synthetic roofing paper. So I think anybody could do it. It's just the fact of getting up there and doing it. If you look behind me, that's as far as I got. I got some more rows to finish up to the top, but there's really nothing new to show you. It's just do the same thing over and over again until you get to the top. And when you get to the top, just cut it off flush with the end of the plywood. So not that complicated. Anybody could do it. And my name's Josh again, and thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.